Have you ever wondered what it would be like to stand up close and personal to all different types of wildlife? Imagine kayaking or fishing next to gigantic alligators and not being bothered. Or walking through a trail and looking over to see a huge group of deer just walking through a pasture. What if I told you there was an actual place you could go to do all of these things? Today I'm going to talk to you about the Noxubee Wildlife Refuge and some of the activities it offers. Some of the activities are hunting, fishing, and wildlife viewing. But before I get into that, let me tell you about when it started and what the refuge is actually for. According to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, the refuge was established on June 14, 1940. The refuge offers breeding grounds for all sorts of wildlife, such as migrating birds. The refuge is there to conserve and restore fish, wildlife, and plant resources for the future and present generations so we can learn what wildlife is like and what goes on. Now, let's talk about our first activity, hunting. Based off an article I found in Historic Starkville, hunting is one of the most frequently partaked activities on the refuge. But there are many rules and limits you must follow to do so. Permits are a must for deer and waterfowl hunting, but for all the other small game huntings, you just need a state license. But with the state license, you must follow all state rules that are applied with them. Now let's move on to fishing. As stated by U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, fishing can be done on all bodies of water on the refuge, but just like hunting, you must follow certain rules. To know more about the rules, you can go to their homepage and learn what to do and what not to do. Some of the fishing, though, that are offered are bow, jug, and sport fishing. But I can tell you one thing, leave the amphibians and reptiles alone and do not take them home. Finally, let's talk about wildlife viewing. As claimed by an article in Historic Starkville, wildlife viewing is one of the main and most frequently done activities you can do. It is one of the easiest due to all wildlife being able to roam freely on the refuge whenever and wherever they please. There are many trails and boardwalks located inside of the refuge that allow you and the animals to be safe while watching them from a good distance. But one of the places that you can visit is called the Webster Memorial Overlook. Here you can see deers, alligators, bald eagles, or even wading birds. But there are many more places that you can visit, including hiking trails, more overlooks, and even more just boardwalks that you can walk along and see different types of wildlife. But to protect you and the rest, if you bring pets, please keep them on leashes due to the fact alligators are free to roam wherever, so keep a close look. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned a little bit about the Noxubee Wildlife Refuge and some of the activities you could do there. Hopefully one day you and your friends will take a trip and go on a little adventure. Thank you.